Hi, Tino, Nam, we're Robert Goetzl from Martin Guitars. He's the artisan that actually creates these pieces of art that musicians or artists play. Talk a little bit about your beautiful work.
Well, thank you, Tino. Hi, how are you? So, yes. So, incredibly, Martin Guitar put it on their website that it's playable art. And that resonates with me because I create the works on the guitar not to be hung up like pictures, but to literally be played and enjoyed. And I work really hard at, when I paint it, for it to sound like a beautiful Martin that it is. So, the technique that I'm using is a very time-consuming and tedious work where I apply watercolor with some acrylic, brush stroke by brush stroke, building up color, sanding some of the color down, and there's a lot of detail work on it. And of course I get a body that's completely made when I'm working on it. And I need to, with masking tape, seal off some of these edges because they're going to, sand and spray and do all this stuff that Martin does. But I need to protect some of the binding and some of the rosette pattern while I'm painting. So I'm very carefully painting around all these areas and creating a work that sort of flows around these sound holes and bridges and necks. Because, as an artist, that canvas that I usually work on has none of those things in it. I just have a whole canvas to work on, but here I have to be very mindful about how this whole flows. And especially, whether it's hanging up on a wall or being played, I try to design it so that it works both directions, horizontally and vertically. But the process doesn't just begin on the guitar. It begins on usually watercolor paper or drawings, where I'll do all of this preliminary work and submit it to the Martin people. And they say, yes, Robert, we like your design. Please go with that. Or no, you need to refine some of these things. But usually they're so enthusiastic and they're...
So have you expanded on the theme? Is this a one-of-a-kind koi
This
guitar?
is one off.
And there's not going to be another one?
There will not be another. There might be another version, but there's nothing in the works right now.
I get it.
The first two guitars that I did were Tiger guitars. And they were at the NAMM show a couple years back. And truthfully, the backstory to that is when I finished these beautiful illustrations, and I was really happy with them, for some reason, the paint and the lacquer did not work together. And they literally had to scrape and peel off my artwork and bring it right down to bare wood and said, Robert, could you do this again? And I'm like, I don't think I can do this again. They're one-off. But I did. And I think they turned out better than the first, to be honest with you. But so I keep trying to do things that are unexpected, bright in color.
These are amazing.
Talk to people that either say, I love what you're doing, decorating this, or what are you doing to the guitar? You're screwing it up.
See, the fact that you've emphasized so much that the tone and not interfering with the tone
right.
is
As I said at the press conference, this name is on the headstock. Right. My name is way under here somewhere. It's not about me. It's about the guitar. And what I'm trying to create is an eye-appealing piece of artwork that sounds wonderful to play.
These two are absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you.
It's kind of where art, a painter's art, and music artists collide.
Well, Tino, I can't tell you how lucky I am that this came to me as a gift from Chris Martin, no doubt about it. I never envisioned that I was going to be painting on a guitar and creating these one-off artworks. But he said, why not? Why not give it a try? Let's see what you can do. I've done illustrated children's books. I've worked in a number of different Fortune 500 companies creating artwork for either magazines or some brochures or things like that. But this is the first time that I've been asked to create on a guitar. And the intimidating thing is there is a body with a serial number and a neck somewhere on the line, and I can't...
You mess up, you can't just crunch it up and throw it and start over.
Not at all. So there's a lot of intimidation, right, with each of these projects. And I need to make sure that whatever image I'm creating on it is worthy to go on this Martin top.
You've done well on these.
And those words, I thank you for that.
And you've upped one on Andy Warhol. You did art commercially for commercial Fortune 500 companies.
Yes.
But you upped him by doing it on musical instrument.
Well, if you're saying that, I'm going to accept that gratefully. Because look at Andy Warhol, what the success he's had.
Exactly.
You know,
This is a total compliment.
that is. I thank you for that.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Well, because most
It's
artists,
true.
shy away, and he was one that went right into commercialism and did artwork.
Yes.
Kept it as art,
Yes.
but you carried it over onto a musical.
Well, but nobody ever had to play his Brillo boxes.
right.
You know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I love his work. You know, I mean, if you're mentioning my name in his realm, I'm going to accept that and take that to heart.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Thank
we
you.
got 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
That's actually number 7 and 8.
Yes. Yes.
And so the Tiger guitars, that was like 3 and 4, or
I don't know the order because
Well,
I did an Eagle guitar, I did a White Tiger guitar, I did 2 Bengal Tiger guitars, I did a Year of the Rabbit guitar, which was a rabbit full moon.
lunar.
If you were here
Nice.
last year,
yeah,
it was here.
nice.
And I have 4 bodies waiting for me at the factory.
Wow.
To
And
go.
over 16 years you've been with them?
Yeah, well, I've known, Chris and I share a family heritage on his mom's side. So I was around when he started working 50 years ago. But yes, 16 years ago, it's an interesting story if you got a minute. So we were both visiting a funeral parlor during a viewing for a cousin of ours. Randomly. I mean, Chris and I, we grew up very close in the same town for a little bit, and then in a Pennsylvania relationship where he had moved, and we lost touch. Family, art school for me, running a guitar company for Chris Martin, and we ran into each other 16 years ago at a cousin's funeral. And Chris threw out, if you ever have an idea for a guitar, knowing that I was an artist, send it. And I did not waste a minute. I went like right home.
That's cool.
And I said, this is the first time that I've ever been invited to do this. And I sent it. And he proposed that his staff look at this at work. If Robert's good enough, use it. Because he had a hands-off approach. You know, it wasn't just like, my cousin likes to draw, give him a job. Luckily, I had a professional career before that. And so that's how I landed at Martin. And
Do
I've
you
been here
remember
ever
number
since.
1?
Number 1, yes, I do. Number 1 was a hand-painted hops and barley guitar that Martin had made already, and I embellished the top as it was done.
Do you know who owns it?
No, I don't. I look on Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
and I think Huber Breeze, the company, had
Oh,
bought
really?
it. And I don't know if they still have it in their possession.
Have you tracked any of your other ones to see where they ended up?
I know where a couple did, but I've never seen them in person.
Well, you probably won't, because nobody would take them out to go play. And
See,
they're
I
too
want them
precious.
to be played.
I understand that.
But luckily, and if you look at that other Biosphere guitar, that's the artwork that I've done. And
Okay.
so I do a lot of artwork that goes into production as well.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So I've done maybe 12 guitars for Martin that have been printed with their high technology.
In production.
Yes.
Nice.
And with more coming every Earth Day.
I can't wait to see 9, 10, 11, and 12. right
Oh,
there.
I
They're
can tell you.
sitting
I
there.
got them on my phone if you ever want to look, but I'm not going to show you today.
All right, I got you.
Robert, thank you so much. It's been
It was
a
a real
pleasure.
treat.
Beautiful
Wow.
work.
Thank you very much for asking me to do this.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
give them a card. And
Yeah.
I got a card.
You got a card, yeah.